Nigeria's President Bola Tinubu, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, and the President of France, Emmanuel Macron, were among the horde of world leaders that condemned the weekend's assassination attempt on former United States President Donald Trump. Reacting to the incident in a post on his verified X handle, Tinubu yesterday described the attack on the Republican candidate in the U.S. November 2024 presidential poll as distasteful and beyond democratic norms. From Africa, Europe to South America and Asia, world leaders spoke out against political violence following the shooting that wounded the former U.S. president at a campaign rally in Pennsylvania. The shooting on Saturday pierced Trump's right ear and killed one bystander while two other spectators were critically wounded. The U.S. Secret Service said it shot the suspected assailant dead. Rufai. Well, Saturday will certainly go down in history, in political history in the United States of America, and I don't know if it's a game changer in this election, but your take on this story?
Yeah, it's a game changer. They've just made Trump a martyr, and I totally condemn the actions of Matthew Crooks. He's a crooked, ignoble person that has tried to do this dastardly harm. And I like the fact that there's a bipartisan call for peace across board. We need to stop the hateful rhetoric. This is not about killing anybody. If you don't agree with the ideas of somebody, you challenge them with the better ideas you think you have. The Yorubas have a saying, Babambayoja Kinshitiku. So if there are discordances between the Democrats and the Republicans, it's not for people to pick it up and attempt to assassinate President Trump. Anyway, this is not the first time assassination attempts were made on candidates or on the President of America. We could go through the long history of Lincoln, Garfield, McKinley, JFK, and the likes. And in fact, we can never forget another Kennedy in '68. As JFK's brother that was well on his way to clinching, the presidency before he was assassinated. There's a long history. And even 7 American presidents have been shot. We all remember in 1981 the shooting of Ronald Reagan. And we remember the jokes Ronald Reagan made out of that shooting when he got into the theater, they were about to operate on him, and he said, hope all the doctors are Republicans. That's just the kind of man he was. And we cannot also forget how projectiles were thrown at President Bush and how he had to duck. But there are many questions. Did the Secret Service do a proper cordoning off the area? Because if the shooter was just 400 yards away and he could shoot, Trump could have died. The bullet just barely scraped through his ears. Secondly, was there proper screening of the area, like I said before? Thirdly, it even goes further to the conversation about guns. How did he get the gun? I'm sure the Secret Service will have picked up the gun for further investigation. And he also talks about gun laws in America, as some of the Republicans will also support. Also, another angle to this, what will be the impact of this on the race? Trump has gone ahead. The Republicans are having their convention in Milwaukee. He's already there. He showed an air of triumphalism by standing up, fist bombing, and say, to a large extent, we are still here, you need to fight. But the truth has to be said. This has no room in American politics or in world politics, so it's highly condemnable.
All right, that's about it.
Okay, very quickly. In Butler, Pennsylvania, over the weekend, we had Thomas Matthew Crooks, 20-year-old, son of a 53-year-old man, who took his father's AR-15, a semi-automatic weapon, and went to the campaign ground and tried to shoot President Donald Trump, who was on the campaign trail. At the end of the day, 1 person died, 2 persons are in hospital, critically wounded. A bullet grazed the ear of President Donald Trump. And that has put America in shock. Now, it's not as if violence is new to America. After all, George Wallace, another presidential candidate in 1933, was a presidential candidate on the campaign trail who was similarly shot. He remained in the wheelchair, I think, for the rest of his life. And we've had other cases, President Kennedy in 1965 the man who succeeded him, Gerald Ford, an assassination attempt was made on him 3 times. And then we have the Roosevelts, Thomas Roosevelt and his cousin, who had similar attempts on their lives. But this particular incident, and George Bush, 2005, who also survived it. Ronald Reagan, 1981, who had to tell his wife, "Oh, I'm sorry, my darling, I docked." But in any case, this particular incident is shocking because of its nature, because of also the circumstances in American politics. What have been the reactions? What leaders have condemned it? Australian Prime Minister Albanese, Canadian Prime Minister Trudeau, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer, Nigerian President Tinubu has also added his voice to the condemnation. Narendra Modi of India, so there's been general condemnation around the world. I mean, world leaders, they seem to be in unison in saying that, look, violence is beyond the democratic norm. And in that regard, I'm quoting President Tinubu directly, because that's what everyone else is saying. Well, what is instructive in this particular case is one, the failure of security. We are likely to say, well, we are familiar with that in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we talk about failure of intelligence. Now, because the shooter had a 140 yards, range with President Trump. How did that happen? He was taken out within seconds by a sniper, by a veteran sniper. But how did he get the opportunity to position himself in the first place? The FBI is investigating. They're saying that security will be reviewed, ahead of the Republican convention. So failure of security, clearly. The second thing is that it accepted President Biden in a predicted poll rating as of this morning. He now has 66% in the ratings. Well, would that propel him to the presidency? There are other dimensions of the story that I probably will bring up when Adefemi Akinsoya treats the story, or Reuters chooses to treat the story in terms of how the markets have reacted to this story. So, but we should note also the reactions of the persons involved. President Biden had to address the nation, from the White House. He condemned it. He called for unity. He's supposed to go to Texas today. He has postponed that. Donald Trump himself has said, look, he had planned to postpone his trip to Milwaukee, Wisconsin for 2 days. But now he says he will go ahead. He's going to Wisconsin as the Republican National Convention takes place, where he's to be confirmed as the nominee of the Republican Party. So he tried to show courage. He told people, fight, fight, fight. He even raised his fist in the face of death. Well, they say it shows courage. I was told yesterday on This Day Live, I was told that, he will try as much as possible to milk the incident. But the long-term effect on the presidential election remains to be seen. But we'll review some of those reactions. His wife has also, Melania Trump, who has eschewed his re-election effort, has also said, look, unity. President Biden himself has called for unity. More importantly, President Biden has said that disagreement is inevitable in American politics. But he will not want a situation where America becomes a killing field, a literal, killing field, because of politics. And in his own case, he's been calling for unity. So, generally, the response by American leaders, by world leaders, has been statesmanlike. It's been one of calling for unity and calling for peace.
Politics must never be a literal battlefield, God forbid a killing field. The quote by President Joe Biden in his response to the unfortunate assassination attempt on former President Donald Trump, who is also his main opposition during 5th of November elections later on this year in the United States of America. Dr. Batu, you said that former President Donald Trump will want to milk this. He's milking this. And of course, he didn't, until full investigations, which are ongoing in terms of motive, the president has enjoined people not to speculate as to what the motive of the shooter, Thomas Matthew Crooks, would be, but just wait for full investigation. They're saying they're trying to hack into his phone. They've gone to to speak, to interview people around him, his relatives, clubs that he belongs to, including one where a 200-yard rifle is allowed by members. So a number of those things, because the man in question is said to be a Republican member of the Republican Party. So one would wonder why he would do this. But again, like has been said, until investigations come out, it's easy to begin to wonder, this might be the reason, that might be the reason, to wait till investigations come out so that it doesn't incite further, it doesn't hit the polity even further. But let's look at what has happened in the last few hours since this assassination attempt has come on. First of all, it shows that when it comes to political violence, it's not just emerging democracies, usually found in developing countries, that experience this. Because usually the news is awash with stories from Africa and other emerging democracies where they're saying, election is a free-for-all, dirty fight. We see that even in what could be said to the most mature democracy in the world, the United States of America, we've seen all manner of drama at levels that are perhaps not been seen in very recent times in the United States of America. So this shows that this is a very unique election. And that picture of Donald Trump with his fist high up there, rather than taking cover immediately and trying to follow the Secret Service, in fact, he said they knocked him down so bad that his shoes came off. And he said his shoes were quite tight. That's how much, that's how hard they knocked him off. But he still tried to show that bravery, that martyr. And he said it himself that, it's only, and that picture would be iconic. And iconic is usually used for people who are already dead, but whether by luck or by God's grace, according to his word, he's alive. So he's going to definitely be milking it. And he said that he actually wanted to continue the speech, but he was medically advised to, go off and get treated. He will be at the Republican convention today in Milwaukee, and he will be giving a speech, despite the fact that his ear was grazed and he had to have it lightly bandaged. But again, I would like to pay tribute to the one life that was lost. Corey Comparatore, who was a firefighter, and the doctor who administered CPR on him, emergency CPR, when he was knocked down, said that he would want his family members to know that he died a hero. He was trying to protect his family members. And just to go back to what President Joe Biden said, politics does not have to be dirty. People do not have to lose their lives because of the ambition of one or two men, or because of the fact that people have chosen to take a side. People have the free will to determine or to choose who they support, and should not have to lose their lives for that, whether in the United States of America, in Nigeria, in Senegal, in Australia, in France, anywhere in the world. Well, let's move away from what's happening in the United States of America to what happened right here in the Republic of Nigeria, where President Bola Ahmed Tinubu yesterday feted chairman of This Day and Arise Group, Prince Nduka Obaigbena, popularly called the Duke, as he marked his 65th birthday, saying through his enterprising spirit and philanthropic efforts, especially in education, he has demonstrated passion for human development. Tinubu extended his congratulations to Obaigbena, Commander of the Order of the Niger, CON, in a release by his media advisor, Ajuri Ingelale. Arise correspondent Omo Bazwaye has more.
The occasion of his 65th birthday anniversary, world leaders, captains of industries, and mega superstars around the globe have seized the auspicious moment to pour encomium on the chairman, editor-in-chief, This Day and Arise Media Group, Prince Nduka Obaigbena, popularly called the Duke. Top on the list of congratulatory messages to the media giant comes from Aso Rock Villa, Nigeria's seat of power. President Bola Tinubu salutes the enterprising spirit of Obaigbena and wishes him many more accomplishments. The president also recognizes Obaigbena's immense philanthropic efforts, especially in education, which the president says demonstrates the publisher's commitment to human capital development. Back home in Delta State, Governor Sharif Uboriwari celebrates the media mogul and the Duke of our Kingdom. Governor Uboriwari commends Obaigbena for his admirable and outstanding contributions to Nigerian media ownership and operations. According to the governor, Prince Obaigbena added style and splendor to the noble profession through well-deserved innovations that have earned him the nickname the Duke of Journalism, and also referring to him as an illustrious son of Delta State. The governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Eno, celebrates Prince Obaigbena, describing him as a resilient and consummate media professional. The governor of Osun State, Ademola Adeleke, also congratulates Obaigbena on his 65th birthday, commending him for his frontline role in the Nigerian media. The governor said Obaigbena's innovative spirit and entrepreneurial acumen and unwavering commitment to excellence have set new standards in the field of journalism. In his congratulatory message, Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu acknowledges Obaigbena's contributions to the growth and development of the media industry in Nigeria. Born into a royal family in 1959, Nduka Obaigbena has, by dint of personal hard work, determination and exemplary leadership, accomplished greatness in his own right, which are quite evident in his chosen fields of endeavors that have allowed him to reach the very top, especially in journalism, his first love. Obaigbena began his journalism career as a cartoonist in the Observer newspaper. He founded the Week magazine and later the Nigerian newspaper This Day in 1995. In 2000, he expanded his stable with the annual This Day Awards that honors and recognizes the contributions of Nigerians to the development of the country. Later in 2013, Obaigbena ventured into the murky waters of Nigeria's broadcast industry with Arise News, and within a short space of time has succeeded in completely changing the entire landscape with fresh and incisive news from Africa to the rest of the world. Today, Arise News stands tall among its peers with numerous awards as the best news station to grace the airspace of Nigeria's television screen. As it marks its 65th birthday anniversary, the Alumni Association of his This Day newspaper celebrates the man, his visionary leadership, and what they describe as his remarkable resilience in the media industry. In a statement by its president, Dr. Tony Onyema, the association said his career and contributions are a testament to the transformative power of visionary leadership that has shaped the future of the Nigerian media. In entertainment, fashion and style, Obaigbena's Arise magazine, Arise Fashion Week, and This Day music festivals are top of the range that have featured several music acts like Beyonce, Jay-Z, Rihanna, John Legend, Leonard Richie, and Diana Ross, to mention a few. Born in Ibadan, southwest Nigeria, Obaigbena attended Edo College, Benin City, and the University of Benin before he proceeded to the Graduate School of Business at the University of Witwatersrand, Johannesburg, to sharpen his knowledge and worldview that have combined to secure him an enviable status and a seat among the high and mighty, and as one of the most influential people on the globe. Omo, that's why Arise News.
Thank you, Omo, for that comprehensive. I don't know if it's even comprehensive, because how can you comprehensively run a documentary on a man like Prince Nduka Obaigbena? Happy 65th birthday, sir.
I mean, the Duke himself, and you know, like in Dr. Batty's words, implication was totally taken care of. In fact,
delivered.
The chief of implication was implicated in the implication yesterday. And that's who the Duke himself is. He has a heart for humanity, and that's something very unique about him. And yesterday, you needed to see the joy in his face, and all the people that were there were a testament to the fact that he loves people. And he has this personal touch. I think it was Rudyard Kipling that talks about If you can be so high, but you can still have a touch with the person, the common touch with everybody high and low, then you're truly a man. And that's what he exemplified. You know, hugging, touching almost every single person there, having a personal relationship, shaking hands, smiling, you know, being the life of the party. And, you know, everybody, he just, you know, when you want to leave, he'll be like, don't go, still stay small, you know, and everything. You want this, you want that. He was personally serving everybody himself. And that's what we enjoyed. And it is that very liberal. You know, I penned a message for him yesterday. I said, little wonder you were born on Bastille Day, which was the day of liberation, you know, in France, the Fête Nationale, 14th Juillet. It shows the great mind at which it helps other people find their dreams and liberate their ideas and let their ideas find traction and continue to live and do great work. We're looking forward to 70th and the next birthday and other birthdays to come. Bless you.
Well, you talked about liberalism. I think that Obaigbena runs a too liberal media empire. You may talk about his humanism, his generosity of spirit, his kindness, but there's too much liberalism in the media establishment. You know, that's my major criticism of the establishment, coming from a slightly different tradition. This is the only place you will find all kinds of persons, you know, being very free. It gives too much freedom to persons who should not enjoy freedom. But I think some other people would interpret that as credit to him because he believes in building the younger generation, in encouraging them, in giving them opportunities. But most of the persons within the younger bracket, they abuse it. You know, where I come from, that's not how, you know, we do it. But so that makes him unique. It makes him special as somebody who has spent his entire career in the media space trying to build talents, trying to discover new people. Even when those new people that he's trying to discover misbehave, he keeps encouraging them, thinking that he will find a gem in them. Now, having made that critical point, yesterday was a very special day. You know, I was on set here presenting This Day Live, the Sunday talk show, and our crew, you know, we left this place and went for implications.
Yes.
And when we got there, we were not disappointed. The implications was provided in very generous doses, you know, and, you know, chicken. Two places I've enjoyed chicken. Prince Obaigbena's chef prefers very soft chicken. And when I got there, I made sure that I asked for chicken. I asked for one, just one. But the chef who served me provided me with two. I enjoyed myself. In fact, the people I went with, Professor Aworawo and Professor Kila, they even were enjoying themselves. I don't know these professors. They also like to enjoy life. But when we were going, producers and directors were saying they wanted to follow us. I said, who got the shop now? They had to stay in the shop to continue with production. But we are grateful. Yeah. But the big takeaway for me is that when you make an impact in society, you will be celebrated. You will be recognized. Look, some of the people who were there yesterday, captains of industry, serving governors, former governors, all of them falling over themselves, you know, to celebrate Prince Obaigbena. And I think his life should be a source of inspiration for younger people that, look, you can make an impact by dedicating yourself to a cause and by excelling at it. That, I think, is the major message. You know, everybody was there, mentioned whoever, they all came around. These are very busy people, but they came to his house to honor him. And I think, you know, I was inspired by that particularly. Apart from the fact that I enjoyed myself. Don't think that it's all about chicken and jollof rice. But we had good fun. We had great fun. Congratulations Prince Nduka Obaigbena?
Well, this morning we're not going to be calling for implications because we have already enjoyed implications prior to coming here. So I just want to say, and I love how you started with fire, especially from a personal perspective. Usually we hear these great things and you can hear from the leaders across the country and even beyond who have wished him well, talked about his impacts, not just in journalism, but even in education, in the growth and the advancement of this great nation that we call Nigeria. It was Che Guevara that says passion is needed for any great work, and for the revolution, passion and audacity are required in big doses. For Prince Nduka Obaigbena, passion, audacity, hard work in big doses. He certainly has revolutionized journalism in Nigeria right from the start with very big dreams and big audacity, and we are products of that big audacity. From a personal perspective as a boss, I would say that one of the things I admired certainly about him is his big heart, his large heart, and his ability to identify talents. I believe that is a gift and a talent in itself. Being able to have a conversation with you and know that, okay, this person ought to be in front of the camera, or this person ought to be, analyzing news or speaking and in front of people or writing the news. I think that's such a big deal. And the fact that he's provided a platform for so many men and women to thrive in their career. That's why we have a thriving alumnus or alumni group whereby they're able to come back and really trace their journey of life and career through his belief and investment in them. So today, in addition to saying happy birthday, I'm saying thank you. Thank you, sir, for believing in us and giving us the wings to fly, the platform to truly thrive. On behalf of a lot of people who want to say this, happy birthday and thank you, sir.